Hello everyone, this is Tony with Sky, and today we're going to cover how to utilize the dashboard layout in SkyVisualEditor. Now the dashboard layout is not focused around a centralized object. This means that you can create pages for both the dashboard views and for your home pages, or maybe a landing page for your app or Salesforce communities. Now to begin, we're going to create a page that I will be using for a home page. Now what we're going to do is create a banner that spans the full width of the page, and then below it have two columns where data is going to be held. Now unlike the free layout where everything is pixel-based manipulation, and unlike the Salesforce layout where everything is container-driven, the dashboard layout is columnar-driven. Everything will be placed and housed within columns. You can have up to 12 columns, giving you the capability of bypassing the restriction on the 3-column width that you have for your dashboard views. Now to begin, we're going to click File, New, scroll to the left for the dashboard layout. And since this is not focused around a single object, the drop-down menu for the object selection screen is actually grayed out. Go ahead and give this a name. I'll call this my demo page. Click OK. Now it's immediately going to ask you the number of columns that you'd like to have in your base template. Go ahead and select whichever one is most appropriate for you. I will choose 2 in this example. Now earlier I mentioned that I want to have a banner span the top portion of the page. And if you notice, there are 2 columns. So if I place a component into this area, let's say the picture slideshow, it's only going to go within the first column. So to have it span across both, I need to remove one of these columns. So I can select one of the columns, and on the right-hand side there is a property called Layout Setting. I can click the Layout Setting, and at the top left-hand corner I can click Delete Column. And as I click that, go ahead and click OK. Now if you notice, I've lost the contents because it's now had to reorganize everything. So I'm simply going to drag the content back on there. Next I need to create the 2 columns that will go right below this component that it will span across the entire width of that top area. So if you notice, there's now going to be a flexible panel component that's not available on any of the other layouts. Go ahead and drag this onto the canvas below the banner. Once on here, it's going to ask you how many default starting columns you'd like to begin with. Go ahead and click the appropriate number and click OK. Now to show you how to create more than 4 columns, if you saw that was the limitation within that first initial window, you can click on the Layout Setting property on the right-hand side and begin to split the columns as you see fit. And again, you can go up to 12 wide as needed. I'm going to keep this at 2 columns for our purposes of the demo. And inside of this first column right below, I'm going to place a tab. And in this tab, I'm going to have 2 tabular views that we're going to look at. One of them is going to house our account information. So we'll put account records in this first tab. And the second one, we're going to put in a simple grid, something that will mimic the look of Excel. So to begin, I'll place the panel grid inside of that tab. I will give this 8 columns and just a couple of rows, and click OK. And if you notice, the columns span well beyond where the actual borders of that column are. To remedy this, I simply check the box saying Fit to Page, and it will scale itself down to fit the container that it's in. Next, I'm going to go to the account records. Since the page is not focused around a single object, everything is going to be based around a non-related object, meaning we're able to retrieve the data, but there won't automatically be any direct association with a particular object. So you will have to create your own queries if you're looking to have data filtered by any sort of parameters. Now if you notice here, this isn't going to span the entire width of this container, so what I'm going to do is place a page block inside of here, and then drag that component inside of the page block. Once the data table is in there, I can change the output tag to fit the page block table, and now it's going to span the width of that as the columns expand and contract in size. Now I don't need any of the button positions, so I'm going to remove those, but I would like to add that this is going to be the account information as the header. Next we can go to the object and then add in just a couple of fields. So we'll go ahead and add in the account name, we'll add in the account number, and then whether it's an active company. Now I'm not going to filter out any of this data, and we'll leave as is. However, I will specify that we are going to have a maximum of 500 records that are going to be able to be viewed at one time. Now for this next portion on the right-hand side, I want there to be a chart or graph. That's one of the main fantastic things that you can get inside of the dashboards and inside of your home pages. So to do this, I'm simply going to add in the report graph component, and it's going to ask you for the API name of an existing report. So I'm going to go ahead and place in an API name for one of the reports that's in our organization and leave that be. I'll also change the graph size to medium. Now I need to finally place in the last portion of this, where it's going to be the banners that will exist inside of this header location. I will go to the image URLs and then paste in the ones that I want to utilize. Click OK, and now we're ready to deploy. Go ahead and click File, Deploy, and send to the environment that you wish to locate this page in. And once the page is fully deployed, we're then able to go ahead and open this page and view it with the header and the sidebar in my case. But if you wish to have this as a page that would be on your home page, you will want to take off the header and sidebar. But as you can see, we do have a page that has 2 columns worth of data and then 1 header that spans the top. Thank you for watching.